I live in a normal American suburb. A quiet place, identical houses, trimmed lawns, flags on porches, dogs that only bark at the mailman. Nothing ever happens here. That's exactly why I knew something was wrong right away. The first note appeared on a Monday. I stepped outside in the morning to grab the newspaper and noticed a white rectangle of paper neatly slid under my front door. Not an envelope, not an ad, just a folded sheet of paper. Printed on it were the words, "We see how you try. Thank you for keeping things quiet." No signature, no logo, no threat. I figured it was some weird advertisement or a prank. Kids in our area sometimes do dumb stuff for TikTok. I threw it away and went to work. That evening, my neighbor across the street, Mary, stopped me near the mailboxes. "Hey, did you get anything strange today?" She was holding the exact same piece of paper. Same font, same message. Word for word. The next day, 4 more neighbors found notes. By the end of the week, almost the entire street. The strange part was this. No one ever saw them being delivered. Almost everyone in our neighborhood has door cameras. Ring, Nest, you name it. People checked their footage. No figures, no cars, no footsteps. The notes just appeared. The messages changed, but they were always identical for everyone. "Thank you for following the schedule. We appreciate your cooperation. You are behaving correctly." They were polite, even friendly, and that was what made them unsettling. The police were called after the 3rd week. The officer took statements, looked around a few houses, asked if there were any disputes. He said it was probably a stupid prank. Suggested installing additional cameras. So we did. That's when things got worse. The notes kept appearing, but now only at the houses that installed cameras. The ones that didn't got nothing. A few days later, the message changed. "We notice attempts at observation. That is unnecessary." After that, some cameras stopped working. They weren't broken. They just shut off at night. Always between 1 and 4 a.m. Mary was the first to move out. She said she couldn't sleep. Said it felt like someone was watching her. A week later, her house was empty. A for sale sign swaying in the wind. But the notes kept coming. Now even to empty houses. I started noticing small things. Trash bins that were closer to the house in the morning than where I left them. Marks in the lawn like someone had been standing there staring at the windows. Once I found a note on my porch before I even left the house. I know that because I heard something sliding under the door. But when I opened it, the paper was already there. The last note showed up yesterday. It was different from the others. There was more text. "You have become too observant. This may disturb the neighborhood's calm. Please return to your usual routine. We are counting on your understanding." I don't know who we are. I don't know what they want. But this morning I noticed something else. On my garage door, neatly drawn in chalk, was a small check mark. I'd seen the same mark on my neighbor's trash bin across the street. And under my door. Another note. I haven't opened it yet. It's been lying there for hours. And for some reason, I feel like if I do, they'll know I've woken up. I found out I was officially dead on an ordinary Tuesday. The morning started like any other. Burnt coffee, the local news murmuring in the background. I was getting ready for work when my phone buzzed, a notification from my bank. Account frozen. Reason: account holder is deceased. I actually laughed. Thought it was some kind of glitch. A system error. I called customer support, half annoyed, half amused. The woman on the line went quiet as she pulled up my file. She put me on hold. The music played longer than it should have. When she came back, her voice had changed. "I'm very sorry, sir," she said carefully. "According to our records, you passed away on March 14th of last year. We received an official death certificate. I gave her my social security number, my date of birth, my address. Everything matched. You're listed as deceased, she repeated. The county records office smelled like dust and old paper. When I told the clerk why I was there, she didn't look surprised. She typed my name into her computer and turned the screen toward me. There it was. My full name, my photograph, a stamped death certificate. Cause of death, acute heart failure. Location, St. Mary's Hospital. That's a mistake, I said. I've never been treated there. She shrugged. The body was identified by a family member. Documentation is complete. Funeral arrangements were made. Everything is legal. I didn't have any family. My parents had died years ago. No siblings, no close relatives. Outside, the city felt wrong. People moved past me, cars honked, life continued. But it all felt staged, like I'd stepped out of the world without realizing it. I drove to the hospital. After a long wait, someone brought out an archived medical file. Vitals, notes, time of death, and a photo taken on a phone, a body on a gurney, covered by a sheet, the face visible. Mine. Same scar above the eyebrow, same mole on my neck, same nose, same jaw. Who identified the body? I asked. The nurse checked the paperwork. A man who claimed to be your brother. I don't have a brother. She frowned slightly, then closed the folder. That evening I went home. My apartment was exactly the way I'd left it. I sat on the couch and tried to think. That's when something clicked. The previous spring. There was a gap. A few weeks I remembered poorly. Like my life had been edited. I'd blamed exhaustion, stress, burnout. I opened my closet. At the very back was a jacket I hadn't worn in over a year. The same jacket listed on the hospital intake form. Inside the pocket was a folded paper and a receipt from the medical examiner's office. The note was written in handwriting that felt disturbingly familiar. If you're reading this, something went wrong. Don't go back to the hospital, and don't try to prove you're alive. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. You're already too late. I looked at my reflection in the dark window. For a moment, it moved a second after I did. Then the doorbell rang. I don't know who was standing on the other side, but somehow, I was sure of one thing. Whoever it was, they knew I was already dead.